everyone, I hope you guys are doing fine. I welcome you all to the day 6 of CA Inter question series, and today's topic is SQC1 and SA 220. So let's get started.
Question number 1 is: the auditor should be straightforward, honest, and sincere in his approach to his professional work. He must be fair and must not allow prejudice or bias to override his objectivity. He should maintain an impartial attitude and both be and appear to be free of any interest which might be regarded as being incompatible with integrity and objectivity. Many different circumstances or combination of circumstances may be relevant, and accordingly it is impossible to define every situation that creates threats to independence and specify the appropriate mitigating action that should be taken. In addition, the nature of assurance engagements may differ, and consequently different threats may exist requiring the application of different safeguards. Explain, stating clearly the 5 types of threats as contained in Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants prepared by the International Federation of Accountants IFAC. There are 5 types of threats to independence. First is self-interest threats. In this, when an auditing firm, its partner or associate could benefit from a financial interest in an audit client. Examples include direct financial interest or materially significant indirect financial interest in a client, loan or guarantee to or from the concerned client, undue dependence to or from the concerned client, undue dependence on a client's fees and hence concern about losing the engagement, close business relationship with an audit client, potential employment with the client, and contingent fees for the audit engagement. Second is self-review threats. This threat occurs when the auditor is providing Section 144 services to the clients. अब वो कौन सी services हैं? तो these include management services, internal audit, investment advisory service, design and implementation of information technology systems. Instances where such threats come into play are when an auditor, having recently been a director or senior officer of the company, and when auditor performs services that are themselves subject matters of audit. सो वही है सेल्फ रिव्यू थ्रेट्स में कि ऑडिटरी मेकर भी है और ऑडिटरी चेकर भी है. Third is advocacy threat. This threat occurs when the auditor promotes or is perceived to promote a client's opinion. अब ऑडिटर कब प्रमोट करेगा? जब या तो वो उसके शेयर्स में डील कर रहा है या फिर वो उस क्लाइंट का एडवोकेट है लिटिगेशन या किसी थर्ड पार्टी डिस्प्यूट में. फोर्थ इज फैमिलियरिटी थ्रेट्स. अब ये थ्रेट्स क्या हैं? ये वही थ्रेट्स हैं जब ऑडिटर क्लाइंट्स के टूवर्ड्स कुछ ज़्यादा ही सिंपैथेटिक हो जाते हैं. अब ये हो सकता है कैसे? या तो वो क्लोज रिलेटिव हो सकता है या फिर वो किसी डायरेक्टर या सीनियर एम्प्लॉय का फॉर्मर पार्टनर हो सकता है, और लॉन्ग एसोसिएशन बिटवीन स्पेसिफिक ऑडिटर्स एंड देयर स्पेसिफिक क्लाइंट काउंटरपार्ट्स, एंड लास्ट ऑडिटर इज एक्सेप्टिंग सिग्निफिकेंट गिफ्ट्स और हॉस्पिटैलिटी फ्रॉम द क्लाइंट. Last is intimidation threats. Now, this can occur when auditors are deterred from acting objectively with an adequate degree of professional skepticism. अब ये हो कब सकता है? These could happen because of threat of replacement over disagreement with the application of accounting principles, या फिर client का undue pressure to disproportionately reduce work in response to reduce audit fees. Next question is: the firm's system of quality control should include policies and procedures addressing each and every element of system of quality control. State those elements. SQC1: Quality controls for firms that perform audits and reviews of historical financial information and other assurance and related services engagements provides that the firm's system of quality control should include policies and procedures addressing each of the following elements. Those are: first, leadership responsibilities for quality within the firm; second, ethical requirements; third, acceptance and continuance of client relationships and specific engagements; fourth, human resources; fifth, engagement performance; and last is monitoring. Next question is: the chartered accountant has a responsibility to remain independent by taking into account the context in which they practice. the threats to independence and the safeguards available to eliminate the threats. Explain the guiding principles in this regard. In this situation, the guiding principles are: first, for the public to have confidence in the quality of audit, it is essential that auditors should always be and appears to be independent of the entities that they are auditing. Second, in the case of audit, the key fundamental principles, that is integrity, objectivity and professional skepticism, which necessarily require the auditor to be independent. Third is, before taking on any work, an auditor must conscientiously consider whether it involves threats to his independence or not. Fourth, when such threats exist, the auditor should either desist from the task or put in place safeguards that eliminate them. Last is, if the auditor is unable to fully implement credible and adequate safeguards, then he must not accept the work. Next is, discuss fundamental principles of professional ethics. There are 5 fundamental principles of professional ethics. Those are: first, integrity; second, objectivity; third, professional competence and due care; fourth, confidentiality; and last, professional behavior. Last question is, as per SA 220, quality control for an audit of financial statement, the auditor should obtain information considered necessary in the circumstances before accepting an engagement with a new client. Explain stating clearly the information that would assist the auditor in accepting and continuing of relationship with the client. The information that would assist the auditor in accepting and continuing of relationship with the client are: first, the integrity of the principal owners, key management and those charged with governance of the entity. Second, whether the engagement team is competent to perform the audit engagement and has the necessary capabilities including time and resources. Third, whether the firm and the engagement team can comply with relevant ethical requirements. And last, significant matters that has arisen during the current or previous year audit engagements and their implications for continuing the relationship.
I hope you guys enjoyed and found this video helpful. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. और यार यहाँ तक आए हो तो सब्सक्राइब तो करो चैनल को, so that I also get motivated and prepare such kind of content for all of you guys. Until मेहनत करते रहें और आगे बढ़ते रहें. See you in the next video.